Hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial on Opera version 5. This is the number 1, and today we're going to see 3 different things. First of all, we're going to learn how to create an individual profile. After that, we're going to use it in order to make a reservation with a profile, and in the end of this tutorial we will see how we can create a full individual reservation without profile. Therefore, in Opera, when you click on PMS, then you go on the reservation here, and in order to create a new profile you will have to go into profiles. So you click on profiles. Anytime you are about to create a profile, you need to make sure that this profile is not yet in your database. Therefore, you need to, in the search field here, in all Opera, anytime you have this yellow line, it is a sign that you are actually in a search field. Therefore, you enter your 3-digit number and you hit enter, or you click on search, or you even can do Alt H. So return. As we don't have any profiles yet in our database, the research gives out nothing. Therefore, we are good to go on creating a new one. We can do so by hitting Alt N. It will prompt you whether you want to create an individual, company, travel agent, group, or contact profile. As I explained earlier, I would like to create an individual contact, therefore I click on OK. You will notice that Opera will automatically reuse the criteria you entered in the search field in order to pre-fill the first field, which will be handy because now we can enter the guest name, which is Craig. His first name is Daniel. We don't know of his middle name, and we know that it's a Mr. Bear in mind that as soon as you enter Mr. and Mrs. or Mrs., it will fill in automatically the salutation for marketing purposes. Then we need to enter his address, and we were given his home address. Make sure you don't confuse between the address and the home address. Depending on which window you are on Opera, sometimes these two addresses will be swapped. Therefore, you will have the home address and then the business address. But we have his home address, so we enter 007 Secret Service Lane, city is Hollywood, postal code is 91601. Now country is USA, and you will notice that if Opera recognizes the postal code and the country, it may give you the state here automatically and change the city to North Hollywood, because he recognized that 91601 in California is the postal code for North Hollywood. Now by hitting tab, you get into the VIP segment, and we know that Mr. Daniel Craig is a celebrity, so 2 options here. Either you click on the elevator here to select celebrity, or if you know the code, then you enter just celebrity. We know that Mr. Craig is British, so the code for England is Great Britain GB. Okay, now if you click on next on tab, then you come to the communications, and we know about his business phone. Again, the short code for business phone is business. Then we enter his phone number, which is 213-331-0007. Any other thing we know about Mr. Daniel Craig? No, not so far. Therefore, I can now click on save in order to save the profile into my database. And you notice that as soon as the profile is saved, because we gave some communications, we have here a a red rectangle stating communications. If you were in operations and double-clicked on communications, it will automatically dial the phone number. As we are not in a live operation, unfortunately, it doesn't do it. Now we click on close, and you can see now that we have created one profile for our guests. Now let's do another one just for the sake of the exercise. Therefore, you go again in the search field, you clear it, and you type in your student number again, type return, and we want to create a profile for Mrs. Kudrow. She doesn't exist in our database, therefore you click on new, individual contact, and you can type in her information. The name is Lisa, we don't know her middle name. She's Miss. Okay, we have her business address, no, home address, 385 Friends Street. This is Hollywood. Postal code is 35451. Country US. CA. Here you notice maybe that when we enter Hollywood and then the postal code and finally the country, as this postal code is not for California or Hollywood, it doesn't change the city this time. Miss Kudrow then is one of our celebrity again, and her nationality is American, so we type in US. Bear in mind that currency for our examples will always be CHF because we are operating a Swiss hotel. We know then her business phone, and therefore it is +1 213 225 5151. Any other information? Yes, we do know some information. It's stated here that she always likes non-smoking. Again, many ways to do so. We could write here a note, but we will see later on that for purposes, we'll enter it into options and preferences. We create a new preferences, and we have here the smoking preferences. Therefore, you click on OK, and you select non-smoking, apply it with OK. Then you can close and close again, and note that now we have not only the communications but also the preferences of Miss Kudrow. So again, you need to save, and then you can close and close again. And if we go back into our profiles, type in our 3-digit number, we have now 2 different profiles that we can use in order to create a reservation. Which is the next step? We want to create a reservation with an existing profile. Therefore, we want to go into new reservation. When we do so, we will not focus straight away on the arrival and departure dates. We will focus mainly always on the guest profiles, because we always want to make sure by hitting entering our 3-digit number and hitting enter that we use a profile that already exists in our database, and also we want to make sure before we create a new one that it is not already in the system. So we went into the profile search, hit 004, which is our student number, hit enter to look for a profile. We want to enter a reservation for Mr. Craig, Therefore, we select it first, and then we click on OK, and we can move on with our reservation. Then you click on OK again. Now Opera is prompting you for the room type and the rate type. Therefore, on the top row here, you have all the room types available in our property. We have standard single, standard twin, standard double, business single, business twin, business double, junior suite, and suite. As per the information that we are given, Mr. Craig wishes to have a suite. Then regarding the rates, we know that he's wanting a rack rate. On the first column here, you have the available rates: rack rate, corporate rate, business group, leisure group, romantic weekend, it's a package, then the suite, and then complimentary, which is free of charge. Then, okay, we select the rack rate for the suite, which is 1,500. Basically, you have two options. Either you click now OK, or you double click on the rate, and it leads you further in the reservation. So again, on the top here, we have the profile that we use, and now we can focus on the dates for Mr. Daniel Craig. So he's arriving today and departing tomorrow, which means he will spend only one night. Automatically, Opera will provide you with the arrival date being today. Therefore, you just need to make sure that you have only one night, so he's departing tomorrow. What else do we know? We know that there are two adults coming, okay, that he wants one room, okay. Next, we know his ETA, which stands for estimated time of arrival, which is 3 p.m. Next, we know also about the reservation type, which is here, and we know that this is a guaranteed credit card reservation. So here are all the different reservation type we can have. 6 p.m. is not guaranteed. It means that at 6 p.m. if the guest hasn't yet arrived, the reservation will be cancelled, and the room will be again in our inventory so that we can sell it to a walk-in. So then we have guaranteed credit card, guaranteed by a company, guaranteed by a voucher. This is when we have a travel agency. Block definite, block tentative, we will use when we're going to learn how to make a group reservation. DR is for deposit requested. That will be done upon guest arrival. DP is deposit paid when the guest has paid in advance for his or part of his reservation. So this one is guaranteed CC, you double click on it. The source is telephone. Therefore, here are all the different sources available for us: internet, central reservation system, travel agency, telephone, fax, email, global distribution system, walk-in or passerby. This one is a telephone, therefore you double click on telephone, and the last information that we need to know is how the guest is going to pay. Our guest is going to pay by Visa, therefore you need to click here and select the proper payment method. This one is Visa. You click on OK. Of course, if we were into a real operation, here we would prompt the guest credit card number and expiry date. Okay. So I think we have entered all the information available. Not exactly, no. We need to enter also Mr. Craig's options. When we do that, it saves automatically the reservation and prompts you with the confirmation number 77651. This is a confirmation number that you would like to keep track of if you work in the reservations, because again, this is the official number that the guest will refer to in order to make sure that his reservation is confirmed. So you click on OK. It opens then the options for these reservations, and we want to do it's not here actually, therefore we close this one. We want to add preferences in the customer profile. Therefore, in order to reopen the customer profile, you click on this little rectangle square here. It opens the profile. Then you can go into options again, and here it is, preferences. Therefore, you have to create a new preference, and we know that Mr. Craig would like second floor with a north view. Therefore, the first preference we enter is in the floor. You select second floor, OK, you create a new one, and now it's about the room feature, OK, and we want a north view. Again, in order to select a preference, you need to click in the first column here, otherwise it's not activated. Click on OK, and we can create as many preferences as we like. Again, you can have different options here in order to record the guest preferences. Very handy when it comes to the room assignments, which we will see later on. Okay, we entered the preferences for Mr. Craig. You close, then you need to save it in order to be taken into account. You click on OK, it will close. We are back into the reservation, we save it again, and now we can close. That's it, guys. We created a reservation with a profile using an existing profile. Now let's say we want to create a reservation without any existing profile. Basically, it's the same procedure, because again, when we are here under new reservation, we want to make sure, double check that we don't have any existing profile for this person. So the full individual reservation is regarding Mr. Bowman Kurt, and therefore, as I did enter my 3-digit number and perform a search on the database, I can check that Mr. Bowman does not exist. Therefore, we need to create a new one. Like when we created the individual profile, it will prompt us with the 3-digit numbers. We follow it up with the guest name, Bowman Kurt. Do we have his middle name? No, we know that it's Mr. Then we have his home address, Lindstraße 37. This is in München. The postal code 78884. The code for Germany is Deutschland. There is no state here. Mr. Bowman is what we call a frequent guest, which is regular customer that keeps coming back. The code is FRE. Okay. The nationality of this person is German. And what else do we know about him? Again, if we had the guest in front of us with this ID, we could fill in the remaining information. We only know we don't have his phone number, and therefore we can click on OK to go on with the reservation of Mr. Bowman. So unlike previously, we create the profile and then immediately go on with the reservation. Therefore, we know that Mr. Bowman is looking for a business single, which is BSGE, and the rate he is requesting is a rack rate, 300. You double click on it. Then Bowman Kurt. He's arriving today and staying for 4 nights. It's going to be 1 adult. Okay, his time of arrival is 11 a.m. Okay. The reservation type is guaranteed CC again. And the source is a fax. Payment will be done by Visa. So you click on the according information. And I think we have finished for this gentleman here. Therefore you can click on OK. But before we do so, we know that Mr. Bowman requested a smoking room. Therefore we need to enter a preference for him, and therefore we click on the profile again. We click on options, preferences, new preference, and smoking feature is here, and he requires smoking. Therefore you click on OK, close, close again. To check up, we have the preference here that appears. You save, you can do OK or close. We are back into his reservation. The reservation is not yet confirmed, and therefore we need to save it. Here we have the confirmation number that appears. We note it down and we will communicate to Mr. Bowman his confirmation number, so that when he arrives to the hotel he will have his confirmation number. Alright, click on OK. You can close now. Close. And if we go now into update reservation, we can have a look at all the reservations that we have in the system at the moment, and we have 2 as created in this online tutorial. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this video was helpful. More to come, of course, very soon. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.